2017 CF 156A4, State v. Nelson. Could counsel please approach? All right, Ms. Simmons, have you had an opportunity to talk with Mr. Nelson about question number 2?
Yes, Your Honor, and we discussed the court's plan, and he is fully advised.
Mr. Nelson, did Ms. Simmons share with you the contents of question 2 and the fact that both sides have no objection to the court's procedure to try to fully explore this issue?
Sure. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any objection to that procedure?
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nolly, is the state ready to proceed? Ms. Simmons?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if we could please bring in juror 272. Deputy. Yes. All right, juror 272. All right, the deputy handed you a note that had previously been handed to me. That has your juror number on it and a signature. Is that your signature and juror number?
Yes.
Okay, did you write that note?
Yes.
Everything contained in that note?
Yes.
Okay, could you please hand that back to the deputy? Thank you. All right, juror 272, your note contains an allegation regarding the person you've identified as juror 218. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in terms of 218, where are you getting that information from?
We were in the jury room. Oh, yeah, have I notes 20?
Correct.
Badge that we were in the jury ID card.
Okay, and you said it's a male juror?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what seat number he's seated in this jury box?
I believe it's either 1 or 2.
Either 1 or 2?
I'm not sure.
Okay, but it's a male?
Yes.
A white male?
Yes.
Okay. Your note states what it states. Beyond what that note states, do you want to expand on or clarify what you're alleging that particular juror said and the circumstances and timing of when he said it?
It was said this morning in the jury room. This morning.
This morning? Other than what you put in your note, in regards to this matter, do you recall anything else that juror 218 said in your presence this morning in the jury room?
He said there was no point in us deliberating, that there was validated reason for the activity, and that unless he's on one or two people, it wasn't going to happen in the action.
Other than what you just stated, anything else that you recall that he said this morning in the jury room? Can counsel approach? All right, juror 272, following up on what you previously said here today, this morning in the courtroom by yourself. When juror 218 made the statements that you just attributed to that juror, how many jurors were present, including yourself? Did any of the other jurors, including yourself, respond to his statements?
The jurors sitting next to me, and we saw talking about it.
When you say next to you, is that sort of behind you to your left or in front of you to your left?
She sits right here.
So
Just like-
you're seat 6, seat 7. And what was the juror in seat 7's response?
Over the, maybe stop talking about it. And it's just-
Anything else you recall juror in seat 7 stating? Did juror 218 respond to anything that the juror in seat 7 stated? Other than the juror in seat 7, did anyone else respond to the statements made by juror 218? Did you respond to him, or did, other than this note, did you respond in any way?
No.
Did you tell juror 218 that you were writing this note and requesting that it be delivered to the court? Did you see whether juror 218 observed you writing this note, saw the contents?
I don't believe he did.
Did you tell any of your other jurors that you were writing this note or show them the note?
No.
Can counsel approach? All right, juror 272, in just a moment, I'm going to have you go back into the jury room. You're going to continue to leave your notepad and your pen on your seat. You remain under all the court's instructions, including but not limited to the instruction not to discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. In addition, you're instructed to not discuss anything that you have said here in court, not to discuss this note or anything related at all to this issue with any of the other jurors, including but not limited to juror 218. Do you understand? All right. All right, so doctor, please follow the deputy back in the jury room. Thank you. Can you please bring in juror 218? All right, juror 218. Yes. And you are on seat 1, correct, sir? All right, sir, an allegation has come to the court's attention. It's alleged that you're in the jury room this morning. You said words to the effect of, you would not vote for the death penalty unless he killed 10 other people. There was no point in discussing further, or words to that effect. Is that correct?
I said it would be very important for me to go after the death penalty after everything I've heard. I wasn't asking for anybody else's opinion, and what was the last part of that too? Because I don't think that was.
Why don't you tell me what you said?
I forget why it was brought up, but I basically said, with everything I've heard, I don't know if I can go after the death penalty.
Anything else that you recall that you said this morning in the jury room?
Not to going further on that.
Earlier, just a moment ago, sir, did you say something to the effect of, I don't know why it was brought up?
Well, how the context began.
Do you recall someone else talking about that issue or any issue related to this
Not
penalty phase?
Not the penalty phase. It wasn't anybody else talking about it. I don't think it was. I didn't just come out and say, why are we doing this? I was just making my point known that I'm gonna have trouble committing somebody to death for what I've been told already. And that it wasn't me trying to persuade anybody else in the room. It was just I shouldn't have said it, obviously.
Do you recall the court's instruction multiple times to not discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else?
I do.
Why did you then say what you said.
I believe there is discussion about how long the case would take. I don't recall who was saying that it's gonna take a while, and I think at that point, I was just like, I think that's maybe why I chimed in, saying that I don't see what 2 weeks, based on your timeline, is.
Did any of your other jurors respond to your statements?
They immediately, I think one of the ladies said, you shouldn't be talking about that, and that was the last we said.
Do you recall how many jurors were present at the time that you said what you said, what you just told us you said?
I don't know if the last two showed up yet. I think there was a few people that showed up after me, and I'm not really certain whether the whole party was involved.
Council approach. All right, Juror 218, the court has determined that you are going to be excused from this jury because you have violated the court's order. In a moment, I'm going to excuse you. You're going to leave your notepad. You're going to actually give your notepad to the deputy. The deputy will assist you getting your personal belongings out of the jury room. Sir, you shall have no interaction with any of the members of the jury. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's an order. Do you understand? You must follow it, or the court could hold you in contempt.
Yes.
Okay. So like I said, the deputy can assist you getting your personal belongings. No communication with any of the jurors. Give your notepad and your pen to the deputy. Thank you.
Apologize.
All right. And the deputy will, you are excused, sir. Thank you. Mr. Nonnelly, is the state ready to bring the jury back in?
State's ready, Judge.
Ms. Simmons, defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson, you're ready.
Yes, sir.
All right, can we bring in the jury, please? Mr. Nonnelly, does the state acknowledge the jury?
We do, Your Honor.
Ms. Simmons, defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nonnelly, please call the next witness for the state.
State calls Erik Jacobs.
Thank you.
For the testimony here about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Sir, please state and spell your first and last name for Madam Court Reporter.
Yes, sir. It's Erik Matthew Jacobs, first name spelled E-R-I-K. Last name is J-A-C-O-B-S.
Thank you. Mr. Nonnelly.
Sir, how are you employed?
I'm a police officer with the city of Daytona Beach.
How long have you been a Daytona Beach police officer, sir?
Coming up on 19 years now, sir.
Were you employed as a Daytona Beach police officer on December the 7th of 2010?
I was a detective at the time.
On December the 7th of 2010, did you have the occasion to respond to a bank robbery in progress call?
I did, sir.
Where was that call from? What bank was it?
The Wachovia Bank, sir.
Where is that, the particular Wachovia Bank located?
It's at 1302 West International Speedway Boulevard.
And since we're in Orange County, not Volusia County, what is that bank close to, sir?
It's at the intersection of International Speedway Boulevard and North Clyde Morris at a Kmart shopping center and close to Halifax Medical Center.
What else is it close to?
Daytona State College is present. There's some fast food restaurants and local high school as well, Mainland High School.
And how far away from Daytona Beach International Speedway is this particular bank?
It's within sight of it, 500 yards.
Now, sir, did you respond to a robbery in progress call at this Wachovia Bank?
Yes, sir.
What happened when you arrived?
As I arrived, the situation had been rectified, or the suspect was in custody, and I approached a vehicle where the suspect was held.
Who had taken the suspect into custody?
Some of our patrol officers had tackled the suspect outside the bank.
And this is a major intersection in Daytona Beach, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So is it fair to say that law enforcement was relatively close when the call came out?
Yes, sir.
Now, sir, you said that the individual who had been taken into custody was seated in the back seat of another law enforcement vehicle. Let me get you to look around this courtroom and tell me if you can identify the individual that you saw that day.
Yes, sir.
Where is he?
He's sitting at the defense table in a black suit, sir.
May the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. And is this individual someone known to you as Scott Edward Nelson?
That is correct, sir.
After Mr. Nelson was taken into custody, what, if any, additional law enforcement action or activity took place at the bank?
There was a collection of statements, evidence collection, and interviews post-arrest.
Was it necessary to take specific steps, unique to this case perhaps, to make the scene safe or ensure the scene's safety?
Yes, sir.
What were those steps, sir?
The bank had to be cleared, and a cordon had to be created around the bank because of something that was left behind there.
What was left behind?
It was a hoax bomb, sir.
Did you know it was a hoax at the time?
No, sir.
Did traffic have to be shut down?
Objection relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
Don't have any further questions.
Cross-examination?
Yes, sir, thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Now, you said that other officers had already apprehended this person right outside the bank before you arrived,
Yes, ma'am.
and you spoke with Mr. Nelson.
I did.
He was cooperative with you,
Yes, ma'am.
and I think your first concern was the status of this hoax bomb.
Our police, the initial concern for the police is definitely to ensure the safety of everybody in the area, so yes.
And so you first asked Mr. Nelson only questions about this hoax bomb.
He was asked quickly about the device, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he told you that it was not a real bomb.
He did.
He had made this fake device out of garbage he found in the woods.
That's correct.
He had been living in the woods nearby the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And he agreed to tell you everything in exchange for cigarettes.
That's correct.
And so you had a recorded interview with him
Yes, ma'am.
where he was very open and told you everything about the case.
Yes, ma'am.
And he told you about his prior history.
He did.
And he showed you the campsite where he had been living and where he found the items to make this fake bomb.
That is correct.
Okay. And it was your impression that Mr. Nelson was attempting to just go back to jail?
It seemed to me that he was more cooperative than normal, than I usually experience. But so that would be my opinion. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the bomb did turn out to be fake,
That's correct.
but you took precautions just in case, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But he hadn't lied to you about it.
No, ma'am.
And he was searched,
Yes.
and he had no gun on him at all, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And during this incident, no one inside the bank was put in any actual danger?
No, ma'am.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Redirect?
Officer Jacobs, did you take him at his word when he told you that the bomb wasn't real?
We,
Ask and answer. Objection.
I'll overrule that objection.
we don't we don't normally take anybody at their word upon first glance.
What was it necessary to do because there was the possibility of a bomb existing inside this bank building?
A cordon has to be created, people have to be cleared out for quite a distance. In many cases, bomb squad has to be called out.
Did that happen here?
I,
Object to relevance.
Overruled.
And we would object to speculation or lack of personal knowledge.
I'll sustain that.
Do you know if the bomb squad was called?
in
In this case.
In this instance, it was not.
It was not.
No, ma'am. No, sir.
I have no further questions.
All right, officer, you can step down. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Could counsel approach? All right, members of the jury, in just a moment, we're going to take our lunch recess. During the lunch recess, you're going to continue to leave your notepads and your pens here. During the lunch recess, you're under all the court's instructions, including but not limited to the instruction not to discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. We'll plan to continue the presentation of the evidence at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. So just follow the deputy's instructions on where you need to be. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you for your service here this morning. We'll see you at 1:30. All right, we'll be in lunch recess till 1:30 this afternoon. Y'all have a good lunch.